Now that our player can jump around and dodge the bee's attacks, let's give him more attacks and give our player the ability to kill the bee. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to add some colliders to our bee and make it take some damage. This should be a pretty simple process. We're going to start by going down to our bee root object underneath the bee encounter. Remember, our bee encounter holds the bee and the platforms and all of the other things related to this boss fight. The bee root is the actual character that has an animator that we haven't set up yet, and then has underneath it all of the different body parts. The first thing that we're going to want to do is add some colliders to the parts of the body that we want our player to be able to shoot. Now that might not be the entire body. A lot of the time we want it to be specific parts, or sometimes it's even just specific parts that are only activated when they're in the middle of some certain animation. This character has a couple pieces that we could use like that, but we're going to start with just adding colliders to the body and the head and leaving it off of the wings and the little tentacle things going up. Make it a little bit harder to hit the guy, but not too difficult. So to do that, we're going to select the body parts that we need. Looks like the head on is one of them. We'll add a polygon collider to it. And then I'm going to select down, let's click again until I don't want the effect parts. No, we'll click right here. This is the body front. So we'll add a polygon collider to that as well. And then I want this big base part of the body too. So I'm going to click and select it. It looks like that's body back number 1. And I'll hit add a polygon collider there as well. Now, again, I mentioned that these change. So we've got a part 2. If I turn this on, you see this is a slightly different one. You can't really tell the difference though, I think. Let's see. Switch it. You probably can't tell unless, oh yeah, there you go, you can see it. So you can see that's the one for when he's animating and trying to shoot out, but it does some rotation and stuff, so it's a little bit more difficult to see it. For now though, we're going to turn that back off and just make it so that you can only shoot the bee when he's kind of in these normal modes, although I believe you can hit his head anytime that he's not dead. All right, so we've got some colliders on him, and if we shoot him right now, nothing's going to happen because he's not set up to take any damage. Now, to make him take damage, we've got a couple options. We could go add a script where we've got these colliders here for our polygon colliders and implement the I take damage method and then figure out how to pass that along to our bee. But a simpler and a less involved solution that I think works a little bit better, requires a lot less setup and is less likely to break, is to open up our blaster shot script and have our blaster shot look for parent objects that take damage if it doesn't find one on the collider that it hit. So to do that, we'll just add in a line here after 49 and say if damageable, let's see, I spell it right, equals null. Then we're going to just assign it. So I'll copy line 49 except for the var, and we'll use get component in children. So if we don't get an object, we'll find a child, or not in children, I said the wrong word, in parent. So we'll find an object in the parent or up the hierarchy that has the I take damage interface. If we find that, then we'll tell that thing to take damage. Let's go back and look at our character one more time for our bee. So our bee has these different parts here that are all children of the bee root object. We could put our damage part on the bee root, but really the bee root is just the animator and the piece that's moving around, kind of moving those colliders and stuff. The part that's got all our logic is the bee encounter, so we're going to add the I take damage to our bee encounter. We'll go right up to the top, implement the interface, or declare that we're going to implement it, then hit Alt-Enter and generate the method. Whoops, I hit F12. I want to go down to the bottom. We'll go to our take damage method, and in here, we're going to make our character just take some damage. So we'll decrement the health that doesn't exist yet, underscore health minus minus, and we'll check to see if the health is less than or equal to 0. If our underscore health is less than or equal to 0, then we probably want to die, and to die for now, let's just disable our bees object. So say bee.set active to false. And we don't want to turn the whole encounter off, just that bee object there. Now we're going to need to implement or create these fields. We're going to need a health field. So we'll generate that. And then we're going to need a bee field. So I'm going to generate that, and we're going to make that into a serialized field. Let's hit F12, go up there and grab our fields. So the bee, first I'm going to move up right below our number of lightnings. We'll make it a serialized field, and we'll make it a game object, because I want to be able to just turn that object on and off. That's the moving bee. Then we've got our health. Let's make that default to about 5 so I can kill the bee pretty quickly. And I'm going to make it public. I want to be able to see and view this number temporarily, but I don't want to get it confused and make it a serialized field until it becomes a max health or something that's not changing at runtime. For now, though, we'll jump back into Unity. Let it compile, and then we should be able to now run over there and shoot our bee, have the messages go up to the bee encounter, and kill our bee as the first step of being able to fight this actual battle. Let's see if it works. So we'll get in, run around, run and jump, jump, jump. Go blast our bee. We should see the shots landing on him. If I can land a shot. Oh man, I'm terrible at this. Let's see if I can land a shot here. I'm just going to go over next to him and shoot him. There we go. Shot him, and he disappeared and died. Looks like it's working so far, so I'm going to go into plastic now and just commit that our bee can take damage with his colliders. And check in. Oh, and save our scene, of course.